Hello everybody, Sasseleigh Biggons here, coming to you with a not your usual tutorial video, only because enough people have asked me that I'm going to do this. I know I put this in a video a long time ago, but it was like an hour-long thing that nobody watched, so now let's get down to it. Anyone who's worked with fiber long enough doesn't really need to be told that if you have a lot of thin plies, adding them together is easier than separating them, or vice versa. And if the twist isn't good enough and you use a chunkier crochet hook or whatever the pattern is, it'll get caught in stuff because the twist protects the shaft of your fiber. And it can feed into, like, we all see the hand dyers, well, their colors and stuff. And of course, in the back of my mind, I'm just thinking, why don't you just pick your own colors and then tweet it together? I mean, you could just crochet or knit them all just from different balls all at one time, or said wrap them all together, or I prefer spinning mine as I go. I know that sounds a little bit odd, but I like a really tight twist. It makes a better product. It holds together, it holds up. And it's the simplest thing. It's just centrifugal force. You know that thing from like the fair where you sit in the bucket seat and then it makes everyone fly around like a swing? Same thing, but you're having one ball loop around another ball, wrapping it, therefore making just a better overall fiber. Or doing the opposite, and that's how I turned a 4-ply into a 2-ply, which is the same as like crochet cotton, but instead it was Caron acrylic or polyester. This is what I did when I was a kid. I didn't have money for anything. My parents didn't believe in paying us for our hours and hours and hours of free babysitting and farm labor. So I was forced to use what I had and just to play around with it. And just to show you what I made with that project. I'm pretty sure I've shown it before, but this was the Irish crochet backpack of sorts. And this is Caron that's been split in half. And that's how I got the lace weight. I mean, it still ages like Caron. It's still a little bit fuzzy with use and such. But, I mean, it's lined and it's the only color I had, so I used it. I mean, it's still soft and everything. Wicked soft. You know, you can still see the pattern and whatnot. But that's where I done took a ball. This is hand wound. They have to be hand wound. Let's see if you can find a needle. You can either use a tapestry needle or a DPN, a very thin one. I still say size 2s are the best for like also putting in your hair, because this is the same concept. Like when you twist up your hair, you literally put a pin in it. These were called pins before they were called needles. Same thing with this. You see it wrapped up. You find out where it crosses. Where's a good spot? I need a good length on this. You weave it up and over under as many layers as you can. You put it down. It's not going anywhere, y'all. And this is recycled sweater. And this is 6 or 8 ply. There's 3 different colors, 2 each, so that's 6 ply. So if you wanted to split whatever, you could. I mean, it's already like crochet cotton thick, but if you needed it thinner, you could. If you suddenly needed to embroider with some really little thread, you'd have a lot. And that's how you do it. Or, in reverse, let's say you ripped apart multiple sweaters and you want to combine these together and they're kind of loose. This is like almost the exact same as that king cotton that Hobby sells. Because for some reason, it must be for cotton lace yarns or something, because they don't spin that yarn. Like, there'll be a couple of, plies or whatever, but they're not spun. There's no twist anywhere in that yarn. So when I got it, I'm like, if you don't know how to work with it, it will look like crappy yarn. But if you do, you don't care. But it's a fiber content artist comfortability thing. Because if you're comfortable with it, it won't matter. If you're totally oblivious to it, yeah, your stuff will split. You'll split stitches nonstop. It will be a headache. But if you really want to fix some of that, either buy a spinning wheel or just do this. This is no joke. This is all you have to do. Or go, like I said, do the opposite and crochet one side and then ball up the other one. Just keep unspinning it. You're just taking it out. And remember how split it looked before, but now it's tight. If anything pulls on it, it'll pull the whole thread and not like one ply. That's the difference. There are many uses for doing this. This is, again, recycled sweater. It is 100% polyester. It is like trying to knit with cellophane. However, it's one of those chained ones. So it's like the I-cord where they knit it in a really tight circle, but it's lace weight. It's a lovely gold color. I use the literal needle plus you gotta wrap these really tight. If not, they're so slick they come undone very easily. You stick the pin in there, it tightens down. Now this one I am plying together with another lace weight. This one is a 2-ply. Each individual ply is super spun, like super twisted, so they don't really stick together that well. You can see. However, and it likes to come undone because it's like trying to knit with cellophane. But when you put them together, they're not that bad. Where's the other one? Come on. Maybe I took it out. Maybe. Oh well, we shall borrow. This is another tight wrap. You find out where it is. You just over, under. It is attached to a project. See how they hang just like, planets? And with this one, just try and make sure y'all see it. Let's see what direction. Yes, they can get stuck a little bit, but most of the time they don't. Just kind of twirl it. The pink one is wrapping itself around the yellow one. And these are exactly like cellophane. They are slippery. They are hard to work with. They are machine mostly only yarns. But I'll show you something in a minute. See? It's really easy to do. I can make this as tight as I want. Come on. I mean, you can do safely, I could say 4 to 5 balls. Don't do more than 4 to 5 balls if you love yourself. Oh good, didn't come undone. I always say that my headbands were originally just samplers, because they are. And even though this is non-stretchy yarn that I plied together, it makes this. And I will have the shiniest headband ever for being just a basic stockinette garter repeat, if you can see that. That's all it is. It's just lines of garter, stockinette, garter, stockinette. That's it. And I wish I could show you exactly how tight. So just because it looks crappy, just because it's recycled, just because polyester doesn't keep well, it doesn't wash well, it'll be much better as a headband. Then I gotta figure out, do I only want to keep making headbands or something else? And also, I chose knitting because it's tighter. Crochet would not be tight enough. You'd have to do basically all chain stitch to keep it tight enough so that it would behave. If not, like I said, once it pulls, the garment starts just to go downhill from there. You hate pulls. You're always fixing pulls. I hate doing that. This fixes that a lot. It really, really does. Let's see here. Okay, just to show some more tweed-like qualities, I balled up just some cotton. Now this is, it's done like I-cord, so you can't split it whatsoever, but you can add to it no problem. I believe it was that 24/7 cotton. Was it Red Heart did that? Unless it was Lion Brand. It was that 24/7 cotton. And if you feel like mixing it with the blue, usually you tie the ends together just real simply so they don't go anywhere, so that the blue yarn is just like other store-bought yarn. I twist it up enough for the example. And it's good to try and keep them the same length or as close as you can get. And check what direction that they're twisted in, so that when you get this going, alright, I'm going to try and do the blue around the pink, not the other way around, because this will show you color, or which color will be more dominant. Alright, pink's taking over blue right now. We'll see if it evens out. There we go. Come on. And the twist will go up the string. Just let it feed up. Just, you do it until you have enough. I know this seems time consuming, but you'll have a better fiber. You won't have to buy anything new. And it's a lot easier than buying plain yarn and going and dyeing it. It's using what you have. It's increasing the variety of what you got laying around. It's just an additional option. Okay. There's a good knot there. Alright. This is if you do less of a twist. You have more of a twist. And this is like perfect twist. It's pink with flecks of blue. If you can see that. And how it will knit up will depend on how twisted it is. The more twist, the more smaller the dots of color will be. The less twisted, you'll get bigger sections of either or. Because that right now is small, large, and it's coming undone. But if it's in a project, this does not happen. If it's in a project, it stays nice and twisted. And then you just have this at the end. But that's actually really pretty. Because you still see the light blue, the navy blue, and a very glossy pink. Which didn't look glossy until I mixed it with the blue. See, you can mix colors and not have to dye them or wait for someone else to dye them or whatever. It's still just dots of color. I mean, yes, it's true that Intarsia gives you more color. just any other color mixing of solids gives you color. But if you just want splashes, because if you look at a lot of the hand-dyed yarns, all I see are like, it's like they took a toothbrush and like splattered color on it. Splattered color, y'all. And do this like with other colors, and then like alternate rows, and it's just an additional option. You don't have to do it, but it's a way of improving the core of your yarn if it needs to be twisted more. It's a way of mixing color. It's a way of using what you have when you have nothing else. Do not do any... You can mix yarns. You can mix all yarns, basically. Just don't try to unspin wool. It's natural fibers most of the time, except for plant fibers. We're talking animal fibers. They have microscopic hooks in their fibers so that they stick together very, very, very well. That's why wool felts extremely well. Don't unspin that. Your life is too short to try and do that. But if it's a very loose spun, multi-plied, whatever, as long as it's not corded or it's knit in a circle, no. If it's like this, if it's like this, no problem. I mean, this could be 10% polyester and I wouldn't know. All I care is that it's 6 plies that I can separate any way I want. So if anyone has any questions, I now have a video where I can just give y'all a link and y'all can go play. But yeah, that's it. So whenever I say spin your yarns, and you don't need a spinning wheel, you don't need a drop spindle. Basically, you're making your own. And I can attribute most of that to having very, very long winters in New Hampshire. 7 months of freezing your buns off and having nothing else to do in front of the fire when all the other work is done. So, leave any comments below. Like, share, subscribe. Have fun crafting. Don't do anything I wouldn't do, but clearly there isn't much I wouldn't do. So,